and greetings from Career Services. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about networking in a presentation I like to call You Better Network. We'll talk about networking, building your network, and the power of LinkedIn. So, the question I get a lot when we discuss networking is, do I really have to? Because it can seem really intimidating. The short answer is yes. Um, and I like to say, think about it as growing your net worth because you're never going to grow your worth if you do not network. So, when we think about networking, we have a lot of weight to that word and a lot of preconceived notions of what we think networking is. But at the root of it, networking is just talking to people. It's really that simple. Uh, so you can think about the first time you were on campus and you were getting to know your roommate or just, trying to introduce yourself to someone. Whether you realize it or not, you are networking. So if we kind of take away the facade of what this is and the power the word networking has, and we think of it more as connecting to another human being, that makes it a little more accessible. So, and the main thing to think about with networking is recognizing that you bring something of value to the table. Folks are there, especially when we have on-campus events where you have the opportunity to build your network and network. Folks are coming to campus to meet students, to meet you. So I think that if we can think about it in a way that you bring a lot of value and no one is going to be as unique or as great a representation of you as you are, then it makes it a little more, I guess, achievable and less scary. So, a good frame of mind when we're thinking about networking is how do we break the ice? And sometimes having an opening line ready to talk to someone and rehearsing that kind of makes you feel really less intimidated to go up to a stranger. So an opening line can be, "Hi, I'm so happy to meet you today." Or if we have guests on campus at a career fair or a different industry professional event, you could say, "Thank you so much for coming to campus." It's a good little icebreaker. It's always positive, grateful, gracious, and sincere. And then if you rehearse it, it can come out really easy. The best thing also when you're going to break the ice and practice speaking to industry professionals and kind of building your network is be knowledgeable about who you're about to meet. Do some research. A lot of the times, the folks that we are bringing on campus, we let you know who they are ahead of time, whether that's in the advertisements and all of the promotions for the event or during our career fair, we have a list of employers and organizations. So doing some research so you know a little bit about who the people are that you're going to speak to and what organizations they're representing. So researching people is going to help make you feel more comfortable and prepared when beginning a discussion. So the best frame when we're networking in a networking event is creating a 30-second elevator pitch. And I really encourage folks to write your pitch down so you can practice it as if you were practicing a monologue or a speech. The more you practice it, the more comfortable you are speaking about yourself. And being prepared equals being relaxed. So the more prepared you are, the more you've practiced it, the more relaxed you're going to be. So, and you can try it out on your friends, your family members, anybody that you want to do this 30-second pitch. And we always like to think about what do we want to achieve? What is the objective of our 30-second pitch? It is not to tell someone our life story, right? It's to think about a few key points that we want this person in this situation that we are networking. What do we want them to know about us, about you as a business? Because all of us, until we are employed, we are our own business. We are CEO of that business. So who are we as a business? So there is an exercise I really like to do called Tell Me About Yourself. Whether you are in a networking situation or a job interview, they're always going to ask this question, tell me about yourself. So we are going to discuss this exercise, and then I'm going to have you hit pause and you're going to jot down what you think your elevator pitch or tell me about yourself is. So, your elevator pitch does not need to be long. It is not a memoir. So, we have most of it as students already written too, which is exciting. So, your name, we have what is your major? What year are you? And then we can kind of go into a few more, we have a little more luxury. So think of it as like 4 sentences of who you are. So we know our name, so that's exciting. We should know at least our major and our school year, or if you're still exploring, you can say, I am whatever year you are in school and still exploring different majors. Um, but we can think about it, say that we are a public relations major and say, Hi, my name is Jane Doe, and I am a junior public relations major. And then think about what are 2 things that you would like them to know. One of them can be something that you're doing on campus. Did you just have, are you involved with a student organization? Are you working on a current project that is relevant to the field of your interest? So, staying with our public relations major, Jane Doe, maybe Jane Doe works at WTOP and works in the social media, or is a social media intern for somewhere, or is doing something with or is a member of the PRSSA, the student organization for public relations majors. So being able to kind of highlight one of those things and like a more like some of the professional development that you are already doing on campus gives you kind of an opportunity to talk about who you are and what you do best. So, our Jane Doe, who is a junior public relations major, is very involved with WTOP, the student television station at SUNY Oswego, and is really looking to explore careers in public relations for the entertainment industry. So that 4th line, we can talk about what are you looking to do outside of here? What are you looking to explore? So I encourage you all now to kind of think of those 4 sentences: your name, your major, and school year, something about us that we're doing on campus right now, or it doesn't need to be on campus, but in your job, any sort of professional development. And then what are you looking to explore in your future career? I am going to have you pause this now, take 5 minutes, and or jot down what your tell me about exercise is. Okay, so now we all should have a good tell me about yourself elevator pitch. I really encourage you to work on that. Change it up. You know, it can be a different elevator pitch for each different scenario or industry professional that you're going to meet. Maybe when you do a little research on who you're going to meet, you can kind of shift what you would want them to know about you. But I encourage you practice this when you're visiting home, practice this with your friends, practice it at a career fair where you're going to have 100 employers there, and you can try it out 100 times and see what sounds really good, what felt really good to say, what felt a little awkward, and kind of keep revising it. It's going to be a living, breathing, growing elevator pitch. So now that we have our elevator pitch and you're beginning to network, once you make a connection with somebody, I encourage you to always, if you can exchange contact information, follow up with them in 1 to 2 business days. That's usually by email, or you can even follow up via LinkedIn when you connect and can send a quick note. We'll go a little bit more into detail with that in a few moments. So, building your network. There's a lot of ways on campus that you can start to build your network now. You have networking opportunities and ways to build by going to events on campus, like our career fair or any industry professional events that your career coach will be sending to you. Go to those events. even go to ones that you don't think are you might be interesting, but you're not sure if it's right for you and your career aspirations. I encourage you to go because any way you can build your network, you never know where those relationships can lead. Join a club or organization. Each other is going to be the biggest network that you have when you leave here. We certainly have our faculty and staff, our industry professionals that come to campus are going to make up 2/3 of the big networking opportunities you have. But the biggest one is going to be your future colleagues who are your classmates now. That is going to be the biggest cohort of people that you are going to be networking with. So when you join a club or organization, it allows your fellow colleagues to see you in a more professional setting outside of a class or grabbing lunch at the dining hall. This is a good way to see how your work ethic is, who you are as a professional, so that maybe one day down the road they can recommend you for a job because they've already kind of interacted with you in a professional setting. I would also check out other career services pages with what can I do with a major in. It can be linked through our career services page, but there in each major we have lists of student and professional organizations both on and off campus that you can begin exploring with. That's a really good way to start beginning to build a network and um, be able to kind of expand where you're at and practice these skills that we're talking about. All right, now we're going to get to LinkedIn, which I think is really such an interesting way to network. So if you go to LinkedIn, we can use it to network, to research, and to market yourself. So if any of you have not discovered the SUNY Oswego LinkedIn page, I really encourage you to go to the SUNY Oswego page, kind of explore, see what the posts are, see what the about section is like, and make sure that you're following it so that you're connected to it. But for today, we're going to focus on the alumni piece. So currently, at this moment today, we have, and it's always a fluctuating number, but we have 60,000 plus alumni that are connected through the alumni page at SUNY Oswego. So what's great about this is you can search here where there's different, you can search the alumni by majors, by keywords like our friend Jane Doe in the public relations, and it'll go ahead and it'll filter out who identifies in those different categories. You can also search by where they live. And the really great thing about that is if you are looking for a summer opportunity in New York City, say, you can go ahead and search all of our public relations professionals in New York City. So it can really narrow down and be really targeted in our search. Now, once we get there, we can go ahead and connect with those alumni. And we never could do a blind connecting. You're always going to want to connect with a note that says, hi. And this is where your 30-second pitch can come in, where you can say, hi, I'm a student majoring in blank, and I'm looking to explore careers in blank. Here's the magic word. So if you don't listen to anything else, listen to this one phrase. Do you have any advice for students looking to explore these industries? So what's great about that is you're asking for advice. You're not asking for a job, but what you're doing is that's your icebreaker to start building a relationship with these alumni. So it's a really, really good way to kind of, you're already in a network together by being connected through SUNY Oswego. So there's an opportunity to really connect and engage with industry professionals who also are alumni from the university that you're going to. What's really great about that is when you're targeting alumni, you can be able to see other networks that you might have in common, whether that's a fraternity or sorority that they're also involved in, a student organization that they're also involved in. It's a really good way to kind of leverage all of those connections. And then Furthermore, we can use this as a research tool. So we can talk about, we can see where did they get their first internships. So when we're looking for those opportunities, we really have a clear path and kind of a research tool of like this person had the same degree as me and they were able to leverage that to get an internship at this organization. Maybe I'll look at that organization when I'm looking at internships. So if we're going to use our LinkedIn page to build connections, we want to make sure that we have a strong LinkedIn. So we want to make sure that we have a really high quality professional headshot. And you can also get headshots at our career studio, which we have in our Compass Resource Center. We have free access to professional lighting and a backdrop, which will make kind of already elevate your professional image. And you want to also choose a banner image that represents your field, your personal brand, or your interests. We want to have everything that's going to be visual on our LinkedIn page. We want it to have intention. Then we want to write an engaging about section. So we want to keep it concise, engaging, and personal. So I would say use first person voice, tell your career story, highlight your skills and passions, and what makes you unique. Again, it's kind of similar to that 30-second pitch. It always comes back to that area. And then we want to showcase our experience and our achievements. So list your most relevant work experiences and focus on impact and results. And you can use bulleted points and quantify your achievements when possible. So you can allow this to be an extension of your resume through LinkedIn. On our resume, it's only one page, but the beauty of using something like LinkedIn is we can put all of our career experience and professional development experience on there without worrying about going into 2 pages. So we want to make sure it's easy to navigate for anyone who's looking at our profile. We also want to feature any work or projects that we're currently working on. So there's a featured section to showcase any articles if we are artists or have portfolio pieces that we want to highlight, any videos or presentations or conferences that we're a part of. And you can also use this opportunity to add media links to work for work experiences for credibility. So we can use that all in our featured work and projects area. And then we can also, again, use it to build a strong network. So start connecting with industry professionals, alumni, and colleagues, folks that you want to begin connecting with. And again, personalizing and using that 30-second pitch so we're not blind connecting and using that small note when we connect. All right, so that is all I have to talk about today with networking, starting to begin building your network and creating your LinkedIn. I really encourage you all that to check out our Career Studio hours. They are with our career peer interns who will help you build your LinkedIn page, and they can also be a really engaging audience to practice your 30-second pitch with. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation and that you have a great day.